Okay, I think we are on. Well, welcome. But first of all, I want to show you. I made some
Oh, they're
yesterday.
beautiful. Oh,
Oh, they are very easy to make and they're delicious.
oh yes, you bad girl.
Right. So I cut this open to show you what it looks like. This is the marzipan we will be making today, which is United States we call it almond paste. But marzipan sounds just much more advanced. That's what I said.
Oh, then almond paste.
And this basically we're going to cover it with chocolate outside of the marzipan. Then we can decorate it. Here I have almond chips and I have some coconut chips. Then I melt some white chocolate and then sprinkle with colorful little stuff. And this one I basically wait until it's firm and cold. Then I will sprinkle some cocoa powder to this one. So you could decorate it any way you like.
Oh, yeah.
So simple. So let's first introduce our ingredient. We only need, if you don't count water, there were only 3 ingredients in marzipan. So it's right, almond flour.
Almond flour.
Almond flour. Today I'm using Trader Joe's almond flour. And then powdered sugar.
Yum.
Almond extract, a little bit. And then water.
Oh, that's easy.
That's water. That's all we need. So we are going to measure 90 grams of almond flour. Let's see what I can get. Almost. We're almost there. There we go. Okay, 90 grams. Putting into my today I'm showing you lots of vintage stuff I've owned. This one's so dirty, but this apron is about 20 years old. This little chopper, it's about 30 years old.
Oh my.
That thing is about 30 years old. So,
You've been making.
I have to say, I know I have to say the older stuff, they just make it to last. Just so good quality. What can I say?
Really?
Okay. Yeah. So impressed with these things. I have a rice cooker made in Japan. As this year is the 32nd year that I've been using it.
Oh my goodness.
And you believe it, it just doesn't break.
Really?
Although it does get rusty in the bottom, but 32 years, you can't blame it.
Wow.
Okay, now I put my almond flour into the food processor. Now we have to measure 70 grams for powdered sugar. You want to use powdered sugar because you want to have a more refined texture. And the traditional marzipan is from UK. You actually make with egg white. We don't use egg white today. Plus, I don't really like the raw taste. So we are going to skip the egg white. What it does is mound it together much better, and you can grind it or process it into much refined status. Then British use them to make like a little fruits decoration or a little candy, and you can make any shape you like. You can dye any color you like. But today we are just gonna make it the filling of our truffle. We don't have to be that fancy. Here we go. Okay, here's our powdered sugar. You're gonna laugh how easy that is. Every time, before I learned how to make almond paste, I always get it a tube from Safeway. And I say, how on earth, it tastes so good, but why is it so expensive? I just don't understand it. And back in 20 years ago, almond flour was not very popular. I don't think I could find any almond flour at all, but now it's everywhere in all supermarkets. Okay, I'm gonna be carefully putting my food processor after all this old lady here. It's really, really old and it's small.
Very small.
Yeah, it's very small. But you could use a big one. You could use your hand, but I never really try it because I don't know how to blend it well. gonna pause a little bit first to make sure. Oh, I didn't plug in. It would be nice to plug in, isn't it? Okay, here we go. Now, add our wet ingredient, but not so much. Almond extract. I plan to add 1 teaspoon. Probably half teaspoon is enough, but I am an almond extract maniac. I love the smell. And for the flour, for the water, we're going to just try to start with 1 tablespoon because we don't want this paste to be too soggy. Okay, let's try that. And if it does feel very firm and still very powdery, then we'll add more water to it. Sorry to make you guys go through this. I think we do need a little more. So I'm gonna do half tablespoon to start with. There we go. Actually, mistake, touch it. Actually, too much water. See the balance? It's very, very subtle. What you do is don't despair. If you think it's a little bit too wet, just add a little bit more of almond meal or almond flour to it. That's totally fine until you want a chunky consistency, but not so wet. Much better, much better. All right, it's very, very soft, but as you can see, it doesn't stick to my hand too bad. So this is the consistency I'm looking for. Now I'm gonna get it out and we'll form little balls. What we're gonna do, we are going to make this. I basically weigh them about 20 grams per ball. And after they're all being balled, I put it in the refrigerator. And that is sit in the refrigerator for about ½ hour. So it's a lot firmer. And I actually made this yesterday. So what you can see, this is what we want to scoop out. And what I do is you just form little balls like this. One at a time. And you can make it big and make it small. So this is the body of our truffle. Okay, let's put these aside. I think we're done with this portion.
Easy.
Is that easy? What do you think? Everyone thinks this can be really hard. And then that's what I thought before, but actually not.
No, it was very easy.
It's so easy. I hope everyone would be trying to do this. Now I'm going to put some of my gadgets away. And let's bring this a little closer. I wonder if you can see. This is a pot of hot water that I'm about to boil. I'm not supposed to use a big pot because I have some chocolate inside that I want to melt. You could melt in the microwave, but you have to watch it using a glass type of a container. But don't microwave it like 2 minutes, 3 minutes right away because it will burn your chocolate. What you do is probably gonna try 1 minute. And sometimes if you use a spoon to try it, it's already soft. And you swirl a little bit, then you'll have your melt chocolate. But now, the most traditional way is you put in a little container, metal container, then you put it on top of a hot water to boil. But as you can see, the previous pot that I brought, it doesn't work. I have an induction stove. It doesn't work. So I'm going to try this with my little pot, my big pot here. Start melting. This way you will not burn your chocolate. When the chocolate is burned, then I'm very sorry. It doesn't work anymore. You will have to start a new batch. It melts very quickly. I'll show you in a moment. The water underneath is not even boiling. Okay, I'm done.
Okay, was that chocolate chips that you just melted?
Yes, you can use chocolate chip, you can use a Hershey bar, you can use anything, but don't add any water to it because you want chocolate, originally it's a solid form. And later when we coat this to our marzipan, then it will become solid later, right? Okay, so now it's done, so easy. Taking my cold marzipan ball, I'm just gonna dip into my chocolate. I should show you what I'm doing. Well, I like to use the chopsticks. You don't have to. You can use a tongue or you can use something that you are good at. But here we go.
Borrow people's pet.
Okay, it's still wet.
I'm good at fingers to mouth.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm sure, but I just.
Okay, so if you like white chocolate, you could also coat with white chocolate. But white chocolate is a little bit more challenging to work with because it's not really chocolate. It's lots of sugar. Okay, so you can see we have two over here. Now I'm gonna make the third one. I can show you how I decorate. Just so easy, I don't have to show you. Look how fast. This. You could use another method, which I don't use a lot. I only use once. I think it's really messy. That you have a baking, the rack to cool down your cookies. Then you can put those balls on the cooling rack. Then you can pour over your chocolate, melted chocolate. So the chocolate will drip down, but the top portion will be a lot smoother than mine. See, if you just have one direction, you don't have to poke it through, but I think this is just fine. Then
I think it's fine, less messy.
Right, honestly, if you don't want to clean up. Now, it's still wet, it's still soft. This is the time that you can decorate your truffle. I'm gonna put some almond pieces and put some, this is coconut.
But you know
coconut spreads. Or could just sprinkle some of this, the kids' favorite. How do you call this? I don't even know anymore.
Sprinkles, I guess.
Sprinkles, it's just colorful sprinkles. It looks great. They're fantastic.
They look lovely.
Guess what? They're done.
And they're done.
They're
Yes.
done. But it's not edible yet. You pick it up, your hands will filled with chocolate. What you want to do is set them in the refrigerator. So I will put this in the refrigerator for a half hour to 1 hour. Then, ta-da!
Nice.
You can put all this little, really tiny little paper cup for your chocolate. So your hands will not get really dirty. And it looks a little fancier. For example, like this one, I have a little foil on it, so it looks fancy. But for those of you a little late, that this is the inside. So that's the truffle that we just made.
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Did a great job.
Yes, I will save this for some of you live nearby. Stop by tonight, tomorrow, whenever you want. This for you, or I will see you next week, right?
That's right. Next Thursday, you got it.
they're very good in storage. So you don't have to in haste eat right away and have to finish like most of the cake or things like that. But these can live for a long time. So anyway, that's our show and that's our truffle. You can make a really fantastic, very high-end looking truffle for Christmas or for Mother's Day. Well, happy Mother's Day. Anyone here? And then, okay. But anyway, here's my show and thank you for coming.
You betcha. Thanks for having us.
Happy Mother's Day.
Make it last long.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.